Je cherche, si vous voulez, ce que j'appelle la poésie de la vie. La poésie, c'est d'être pleinement soi-même avec des gens qu'on aime, avec une communauté. Et quand vous avez cette poésie, vous êtes heureux. La poésie, c'est d'être pleinement soi-même avec des gens qu'on aime, avec une communauté. Et quand vous avez cette poésie, vous êtes heureux.
Here we go. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Here's a French pool. We're gonna have an hour together to take a look at Bitcoin. And yeah, try to see what's coming up next, right? So, with what do I start? Well, don't forget to subscribe to my Twitter if you didn't already. To the YouTube channel as well. Hit the notification bell. And yeah, in case you're wondering what music was at the beginning, from my good friend Baba. So if you like it, the last one was Visceral with Atom, the remix. Yeah, really like it, so don't hesitate to check it out as well. Now, let's put some chiller music, maybe. Green music we'll take. I like green, especially as it is red today. And make sure the volume is as it should be. I don't hear anything. There we go. A lot chiller, right? Like this, it should be okay. The chat here on the side. Vasil Miriam, hello. Wellplast, salut. Hello Jenny, Haidar. Win Business Wings. Hi everybody, good to see you. I think this was more than a stump hunt. Market structure change on the daily, say. Wellplast. Well, yeah, maybe. Well, we'll see where this can get us. Last week, the plan was pretty much this. So trying to catch a short, I didn't have the right count at that moment. It was really an iffy count to get up here. So yeah, a few attempts at shorting that failed initially. I didn't want to take too much risk either, because there was still a possibility that we squeeze up. But I had the feeling that we were going to, yeah, to trigger some long stops on liquidation, right? And so last Tuesday for the private stream in my group, in Taros, in Vortex. So you have all the links in the description, I believe. It should be, yeah, Vortex and Taros down there if you want to join. But yeah, I finally find a account that look right, that fit everything. So we're going to maybe take a second look at it today, just to explain the through process, and try to guess what is the most likely to come next. Feel so relaxed on your stream, said Jenny. I would agree. Thanks, guys and girls. Always appreciable to know it's helpful to some. It's quite a big job, so at least I'm not doing this for nothing. I saw that if you managed to catch nice shots, even if I was not as much here lately, because I have a lot of stuff to take care on the personal side. But just by doing a few streams and explaining everything, and with people that been following and learning Elliott Wave for a bit now, I see, yeah, we have been able to catch just the short, the lower time frame without my help, and that's really nice to see, because that's also the goal, right? It's not necessarily for me to just give you signals to copy, but for you to understand it and be able to do it yourself. And yeah, sometimes maybe take a bit of guidance, but I myself take a bit of ideas from some other Elliottian or not Elliottian, by the way. And I don't really know. Just take a look at their ideas, and yeah. In fact, the count that I finally find proper here, especially, that was not my idea, but from who it is. Green Star. We do nice Elliott Wave count as well, which I believe he took the idea from somebody else as well. But that's what we do also as Elliotticians. We happily take ideas from other people's, because sometimes you're stuck on a chart or new view, and it's difficult to see anything else than what you already see. And have other people idea can be enlightening sometimes. And so yeah, here we have a really nice, I mean, could be nicer, but it fixed a few issues we had with this correction here, with the idea of an expanding triangle. And so the idea is to have a first leg of correction here, an expanding triangle here as an A, B, C, D, E. Every subwave of the triangle is subdivided in 3 waves. And so here, especially as we have a triangle as well as a wave P here, ABC, and have 5 waves for the C. And wave A and wave C have the same length. So when one extension target to the tick, that's exactly what you want to see for an ABC. That's, yeah, perfect target. And it resolves the issue that we have with 5 waves down here, 3 waves up here, so correction up, impulsive down, without taking the low, and continue to take the high. That looked like an impossible count. But as we are able to take the wave A here, wave C now took the low of wave A, and the correction makes sense in this expanding triangle. Sometimes Elliott Wave can be very complicated indeed, but when you find the right things, well, it becomes enlightening. That would be the word of the day. And so yeah, ending diagonal here inside the bigger diagonal for the wave 5. So we have overlapping wave, but wave 3 is smaller than 1, wave 5 is smaller than 3. Everything work out. 3 go above 1, 5 go above 3. Wave 4 is smaller than wave 2. So yeah, textbooks perfectly. Now that we know this, great, we are down. Where are we going to bounce? Well, okay, maybe I'm gonna zoom out a bit and recap what I talked about during the Private Tuesday stream, where I recap the high time frame. If you, maybe I will make this public, because I will go a bit quicker today. So if you want to take a second look, I might make that live public if it interests you. Yeah. Well, let's see how much like do I get usually on my streams. On the last one, 27 likes, 10%. If this go to 20% like compared to the number of views of today's video. So let's say 50 like on today's video, and I will make Tuesday one public. I spent just an hour, but I went over most of the scenario slowly and recap the very high time frame. Now I'll just go on the mid time frame here and recap I'm missing a wave here. Okay, 4 hour. And recap what we have here. Right now we know for sure we've finished something here. We broke the market structure. We have a significant move down. We have significant liquidation. Significant volume. I will take a look at the volume on aggregated spot. Let's do that now. Yeah, pretty significant volume. We can see 3. You know, it's not higher. It's not a higher spike than these 2 previous one, for example. But you see 3 average high, one after the other. So it's higher volume than this price action, just taking a bit longer, right? Anyway, we know we have something that finished here. That's the thing. Now from this, from my point of view, and probably most of the logicians, we have 2 main possibilities. Is either we got an ABC move, which means corrective, which would mean we will take that low again. Does that mean that if this is corrective, we're going to 10k or 13k or whatever? I can't know for sure, right? That's why we do try to take the short at the high, because even if we have possibility to bounce on the way, it's always nicer to try to catch longs with the protection of a short from way above. Let's say if we continue down, I'm protected, I'm edged, especially if you're a bull like me and you're mostly exposed in Bitcoin and not trading USDT or even spot USD, right? Well, with spot it's a bit simpler, because if you get stopped on your position, you just flip back into cash, right? But if you use derivative and are exposed to Bitcoin, it's nice to have a short to protect you, right? And so if we have an ABC, for me, my feeling is that we will take the low as a spring, but not necessarily a lot deeper. Again, it's hard to say exactly the number from here, because it depends on the liquidity at the moment it happened. Where will be the liquidation and the stop. But I believe that we don't need to go much lower to trigger a lot of fear and to trigger a lot of sales, to be potentially absorbed by bigger players that want to buy this, right? So I don't think we need to go to like 15, 14 or 10k. But I'm not excluding it either. If we go slightly lower, we know we may have a sub count. Let's say we have a wave 3 here and just looking for 5 waves. In that case, what we will be looking at anyway is to count 5 waves in this move down and try to long to buy the 5th, right? Or if you want to be a bit less risky, you wait for a nicer reaction, you come back, you say, okay, I can count 5 waves now, it's fine, we have a nice bounce, I have the data I need, I have bullish divergence on a decently high time frame, etc. Then what you can look to buy is a retrace after the next subwave 1 of the new uptrend, and you look for to buy the retrace of the wave 2, and you know you have the invalidation there, because otherwise sometimes it can be difficult and painful. For example, like it was in this area where we're not sure of the count, and I tried to short several times before it succeeded. And so you have to be able to enjoy a bit of losses, right? And you never know for sure when it ends. But you can have like a high degree of confidence sometimes. I mean, that's how being able to long. I think I shared a thread about how I traded this and shared it in the group or publicly. And just by counting 5 waves on the lower time frame, I've been able to catch a position at like less than 0.1% or 0.01%, right? But you need a bit of skills. I mean, on the Elliott Wave, from the Elliott Wave point of view. Because yeah, a lower time frame is not as evident as it can be on the higher time frame. Even if here it was not as evident, but sometimes it is. Sometimes Elliott Wave is very clear, the current is very clear, and it works, and sometimes it is a lot more complex. So yeah, ABC, one of the possibility, knowing that on the higher time frame we could be in a larger corrective structure, and this could be just like with W, we could go into stay in that range for a bit, you know, find a bounce and still be corrective, and still go for a WXY and still be corrective up here and still go for low. I don't buy this scenario. I believe that essentially if we take that high, I believe we are in a new bull market. That's my feeling. But I know it's not impossible that we are in a larger correction. There's always an alternative scenario. We talk about that if it happened. On the bull side, let's hide this. We have still a few possibilities, but I would say mainly this one. Is that then we have a 1-2 here with a flat as a wave A and a bigger flat as a wave 2. This has a leading diagonal. So if it is an ABC, this becomes an ending diagonal. If it is a bullish case, this becomes a leading diagonal as a subwave 1 of the larger 3 here, right? Because a diagonal cannot be a wave 3, but it can be part of a wave 3 as a subwave 1 or as a subwave 5. So that's the main idea, for me at least. In that case, I will look to take that low. How long this correction will take? Again, it's hard to say, but we can have a few hints with how the price action is going here. I think about that idea already a few weeks back, I think. I say I don't. Yeah, now you need to see how it evolves. We know we want to look for short up here, but we need to see how it evolves to try to guess a bit more precision on how the wave 2 will behave and where it will end. Now this is pretty deep, pretty fast, decently high volume. It doesn't look like a finished correction or about to finish. It looks like we're having some kind of subwave 3. We'll go into the lower time frame in a minute. But that means that this could last for a bit. Again, I don't know how we could come back, but we could stay like this for, again, a month or two. Maybe not 2 months, but we could last a few weeks or a month. Just taking the length of wave 1 here, the proposed wave 1. And you see, yeah, it can be a quick wave 2. In that case, it doesn't need to last more than 20% of the time of the wave 1 here. But if it lasts as long, it will bring us to 16th of September. Let's say we can stay in that range. If we are bullish, we are in an accumulation range overall. And accumulation can take some time, especially if we are targeting for very high targets. It's not bad if we spend a few more months in this range, because even if we have two finished here, it doesn't mean we go like this then, because then we go in the sub wave 1 of this wave 3 degree. We can still go stay in the range and go back for a 2 and continue then. So it can bring us till in October, right? So I will not have the magic answer. Maybe when I will be back at full time at chatting, I will have a better feeling about it. When are we? Yeah, I should be back full time beginning of September. Next week I may have a bit more time to do a bit more low time frame and the usual daily updates that I started to do for the private group that are in the descriptions. We'll see. Anyway, September should be back to full. So we'll see if I got a better feeling about this. But okay, I would say not impossible that this go quick, and this week, next week, we find the bottom and we start a strong wave 3 really quick, and we don't do big retrace, because a 1-2 can do 1-2, a 1-2 can be 1-2 and continue. In fact, especially when we're starting the wave 3, at some point we'll have a wave 2 that is really shallow. That's happening every time. At some point you have a shallow wave 2. Just not necessarily know which degree. So that's one of the scenario. You see I have an arrow here because we have two potential sub count for this part here. So here the idea is to have a flat, and this has wave 1. Alternatively, we already have a flat here, so we could have a wave 2 finished here, and here we had a potential expanding diagonal count that will play as a wave 1 of the bigger diagonal. That doesn't change a lot at the end of the day, because it changes where we take our flip tool from here, and it makes the invalidation of that count either from that low or that low. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't change a lot. I kind of prefer this one because it gives a bit more time on this wave 2, and knowing that this wave 3 is already being extended and taking a lot of time, it makes sense to have a longer correction. It's already quite a quick 1 and 2 here compared to the length of 3. As it is extended, it's okay, but you know, the more time you have in your correction, the more strength it gives you for the impulse that come next. As in the Wyckoff view, you know, the longer the accumulation lasts, the bigger the move out of it is supposed to be. Great, Jenny. I saw you did well. Sorry I was late, currently on vacation. Hi MM. All good. Enjoy your holidays. Eisenberg, high probability of taking the low of 17.5 level. I wouldn't say high probability. I might be lowering my probability that this low is not gonna be taken. As a few weeks back I say I had a 70% probability feeling that the low is in, and 90% probability that the low is close. That means potentially a spring. Now, considering how this leg down is behaving right now, I might be flipping back to 50-60% probability that the low is in. But I guess we will see soon enough. We'll see how strong is the bounce here. We'll know this we'll not know it, but we'll have more confidence about it on the bounce. If we get a big bounce here, we can count 5 waves down here. Then we know, okay, now I have a 1-1 extension target that takes that low but doesn't take this one's. Okay, we'll still have a nice probability of continuing. If we print 5 waves here, very close to the low, and the bounce is shallow, maybe not. And at the same time, if we are going for a 5th, like this has a 4 and we are going to take that low, well, this is gonna continue this trend down, pretty heavy move down here, and gonna be probably quicker. Can still last a few weeks, especially as if we are going to 5th, you know, in these circumstances, if we are going to take that low, I will forecast something that take its time, you know, that ends slowly, to build as much as possible on the fear. Sometimes you can have a quick move down and quick move up. You don't spend time at the low, and sometimes you spend a lot more time, break the low at that point when you are below this low. Everybody is looking at the breakdown on the high time frame, everything. The crowd is looking at breakdown and selling and capitulating here, looking at this as looking at each bounce as just a retest and looking for more downside. And yeah, and then that's how I will look at it if we are going for low. I think again, there is no certainty, but that's what I would expect most, a slow thing. So still like a spring, you know, a spring can be fast, but a spring can be like a deviation, a little range that will turn here. Would you scalp along here on the daily level, or in your opinion might not be a high probability trade? FTX seems show 3D bull diff. I did already took a TP1. What make me a bit more confident right now is magic spread. So I'll come back on this in a minute. I just want to show the last alternative that's probably going to be invalidated soon. We have 2 alternatives in that one. We're going to focus on this. So it's an alternative bullish count with the same 1-2-1-2 here. Wave 2 here. But anyway, what was I saying? I don't really feel that count likely anymore, but it's not invalidated until we take the low here, the low of this wave 2. So the idea here is that what you see, right? 1-2, we are in a bigger wave 3, we extend it in the sub 1-2, and extending in the sub 1-2 with a big flat here. Why I'm not feeling this most likely? Well, you see how this this wave 2 flat, it's a correct flat, ABC. But in relation to this, you see how long it takes. It doesn't look right. Wave 2 here, and if we continued from there, or even here we had a diagonal, we continued from here, I will have to say, okay, this count is still legit. That's what I said. Now it's not invalidated until we take that low. It looks less likely. In that case, we will be looking at 5 waves still here, but without taking that low. And this, yeah, we reached the 161.8, so we had the target of a wave C already. But, you know, nothing's impossible. And again, can be a flat of a nose account. I'm not necessarily seeing here. Don't think I had anything finished. Maybe we have somehow a corrective move on this as a W, and this as an X, and here and a Y. That's how we'll say. Now, magic spread. Three tap setup around 17.5 level, long accumulation in this range, and blast off. 3 tap setup around. Oh, you mean, yeah, 3 tap like a 3 drive. I mean, that's, yeah, would be the ideal with one of these taking the low. Can be this one, and this takes the low of the previous, etc. Like an ending diagonal, in fact, finishing any correction that we will have in this. I mean, yeah, finishing as an ending diagonal. I mean, it's the best thing you can get, right? Because it's usually kind of obvious at some point, because you have your, you know, yeah, your contracting waves, contracting price action. Here the count was not that obvious at the beginning, but it eventually were. I'm getting slow down here. Let me check my temp. Maybe opens up. And I have fan somewhere. I don't know where. Should be here. No, my temps are fine. Okay, I'm gonna... Okay. Let's talk about magic spread after I take a look at EXO, and closing EXO should fix everything. So what did we have that make me a bit bullish? Well, you see that big spike here, big volume, and magic spread pretty green. So I would say it's not enough yet for bottom, but that's the trigger buy signal. If you look at the volume, how much it is, 1,424. 420. So a well on Bitfinex, about that amount of Bitcoin at a premium. It was okay to pay for like an average of $160 premium on the price. Not an average, but a max price. At the same time, price didn't spend a lot of time in premium. But yeah, that means there was not that much sell liquidity. Market makers, they bought it up, broke the market structure, broke the price downtrend, more or less, and trigger buy on other exchanges. Now it would be nice to see this continue a bit more. It is a signal. It triggered a buy signal on my indicator. It's not necessarily enough by itself, but you know, that's one of the things that made me quite bearish or iffy about this continuing up on the most bullish scenario, because I had selling in all that range. So now starting to see buying here. I'm happy to see this. Now I would like to see this continue for a bit. And not seeing new supply coming up on Bitfinex code, or going out of Bitfinex code wallet. Is that a weak real or a bug? I believe it's real because there is volume. There's probably not a lot of volume inside the wick. Usually there is not much break price action on Bitfinex. Now we can take a look at the footprint, check this. There was selling at the high here. Market sell. That's weird. That means there was an algo still limit buying up here. So yeah, okay. So market maker was market selling up here because there was the price difference with Bitfinex and the other exchanges, but somebody on algo was still buying up here. No volume back down. Very big gap. So it can be an algo bug on, a human mistake when configuring a bot, a trading bot. It's possible. But yeah, there's volume. There's volume at the low. 3, 4, 500 at the low, triggering the movement. Not a lot of volume inside it, and absorbing the market maker sales at the high. So that also means that if the market maker sold that here and here, because he sold also, he provide liquidity in the book, it means that he has been able to buy the same amount on another exchange, right? That's the ID behind this indicator and the liquidity on Bitfinex. Bitfinex is used as a spot liquidity by other. It's one of the big exchanges for spot. Now, by itself, it's not enough here, right? I want to emphasize. It's not enough. We want to see this continue. Confirm it's not just a human mistake. Or a bot bug or whatever. But yeah. I mean, I had my signal, so I'm happy. Okay, we can see here. Okay, we cannot see here. But that's right here after that done. So yeah, that's it. So somebody opened. It's not a bot mistake. Open a marginal. 800, 900. You see in the big picture it's not that much, but you see that we had long position closing in all this uptrend, and now we have a significant change in that structure. Not that much more than here, but it is what it is. It is a signal. Would you describe the price action around 25,200 top as distribution? If so, can you give us a sense about what you look for distribution? Yeah, well, I talked about this, I think, yeah, on Tuesday stream. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe to my Twitter and the YouTube channel if you enjoy. You can let me remind us this. And yeah, I talked about the structure. We have distribution here. Now this is where we are now. So this is definitely distribution, but distribution event doesn't mean we are in a hole in the distribution, because either distribution or accumulation in Wyckoff, it's the same. You have distribution at the top and accumulation at the bottom. Depending how it breaks and how the trend continue, tell you after the fact if it really was distribution or accumulation. You can have some hints by looking at the volume and some stuff, open interest, etc. But the behavior is very similar. So here, if all of this is distribution and we are going for an accumulation longer, lower, well, which is likely here now, you know, unless this is a spring as the less likely bullish scenario that I talk at the end. In that case, that means that we could recover really quickly. In that case, it's become just a spring. Otherwise, it's become a show of weakness. Doesn't mean we cannot have a nice bounce still. Doesn't have to be that quick. Let's take corrective. In that case, we'll be looking at this kind of trend line, this trend line to be resistance. Doesn't necessarily need to be precise to the tick, but need to be resistance. So it can be just a week on a 4 hour, 1 hour time frame. See rejection, you see imbalance on your order flow or whatever, completed count. You got more confirmation that it will continue down. And that's a show of weakness, and that's to become an LPSY retest of the liquidity of the structure. Retest of the demand. Sorry, I have a bug here. So yeah, that. Now, sometime in a trappy price action, you may have a little range, like a deviation, and do some kind of part or whatever. But overall, this should play resistance. We'll have a POC here. We'll have an alternative high volume node with daily level here that will be really important resistance in case we go that high. Again, depending what count we are in, and depending how the bounce play, when it play, will give us more data about it. But if we do, for example, if we do a fifth wave that breaks that low, we'll look at nice 5 waves here, and we bounce like this, nice bounce, retest. Then we most likely have an A and a B here, or a 1 and a 2. Still looking to short this. Yeah, if we reclaim this and we continue, well, we can come back on this ABC move potentially. This will be very important key level to watch, especially as we are likely coming down as 5 waves. We shouldn't take the high. We shouldn't. If we look at Elliott Wave rules, a flat that's an A, B, C, where B takes the high of the origin of A. For this, we should have 3 waves down, not 5. Remain to be confirmed if the low is set here. So yeah, that's how it is. And on the lower time frame here, we have a pretty clear range at the beginning with preliminary supply that makes the range, buying climax, a secondary test that takes the high, bit trappy, deviation, secondary test at the area of the preliminary supply, an uptrust, several uptrusts in fact, I say this is a minor show of weakness because we broke a trend locally. We started to make a market structure change. Even here, if we take this as deviation, well, the true show of weakness will be in this area where we do break a market structure more heavily, and here we have an LPSY retest of yeah, here LPSY, and again another show of weakness that break more the market structure, and we go on LPSY that doesn't manage to test it. There's a broken support here, broken trend, so really weak. I was able to look at this at this moment. I all have believed that we would have done this before continuing, but yeah, we didn't. Do you think we you always have me like, man, awesome content, thank you Alex, appreciate it. Do you think we need still to print wave 4 or even 2 of wave 4s since we are potentially hard 1.2? Do you think we need still to print wave 4? Oh yeah, okay. Let's take a look at the lower time frame. Just before, how long I was? Okay, it's already 8. Yeah, I have to pack this up. I have other stuff to do. So we'll do this quick. Let's take a look at this. What do we have here in the 30 minutes? We have a bit of absorption D on both sides. So yeah, we might have a range that develop here. Might make a lower low. We'll still look to long, like a swing fair pattern of this. I think we might continue to range a bit, maybe. Looking at what at here, this is probably need to be reloaded to have the full data. I have too much days in this. Coming up. Okay. Just looking at this in the meantime, there's a bit of bids here, a bit of bids on FTX as well. How much is that? 200, 500. Okay, it's going deeper, but yeah, let's exit this. We have a bit of value gap here. We have still a naked POC that I believe to be have been tested here. It's still on XO here, and one a bit lower. I think we'll go lower. Well, considering the current, most likely we'll continue a bit lower at some point. And we know we have this level. Okay, naked POC. It is at 19,726. Exit that now. And let's take a look at the lower time frame here. Lower time frame. It's not lower, we are still on 4 hour. First things to notice, we broke the trend here. We have our last bounce on this, so on the show of weakness of this little and just before bigger show of weakness. Now we are on 4 hour oversold, so you know that's where you start to be looking for long in theory, knowing that if we are really continuing this trend, sometime 4 hour oversold are really quite deep already. But yeah, you know, it can come early and doesn't necessarily long now and pray, because you can still have a 20% move down, right? In theory. In fact, yeah, it's still a 20% move down to just take that low. I will be looking at least at a 1 hour bull diff to be more confident. And if we start to get 4 hour bull diff, it will be a nice buy. Thanks, Jenny. So yeah, I didn't have much time honestly to spend on the chat today. I did that like half an hour before going live, but pretty much the idea, right? There is 3 different things on the chart, so it might be complicated, or at least 2. So we have the flat here, A, B, C, I, D. I keeping it, ignoring the higher time frame. I know it's valid, but not likely. But on this time frame, it's valid, very valid. We're reaching 161.8 extension. Now, can we finish 5 waves into this? It seems not. It seems that we are only in a 3, that we are in a wave 4 here, green 1. That could retrace pretty early, right? Or not. Wave 4, at least up here. It should. Now, if I take the extension here and take the red count, so it seems unfinished even for a bullish count. For corrective, okay, let's say we are looking at just an ABC move down from up here. As I said, it looked like more impulsive because you got your swing down, your swing up, extension. We are already past the 161.8 and it doesn't look finished, so it doesn't seem likely we have an ABC. Now it's possible, you know. But usually when you go past 161.8, you look more at wave 3 than ABC. That's why I said on the higher time frame that I don't think we'll have like a wave 2, you know, bigger wave 1 here, wave 2 finishing here, and we go here. Because it seems that it's more impulsive here than for itself an ABC move. Okay. So let's hide this now. By the way, without losing you, the idea of a flat here, we have similar count in this, in the fact that we have an A, B, C, we still have an ending diagonal for wave C, but we still have a problem of this being 5 waves. Also one of the reasons that a flat here doesn't look like the most likely. So we are looking more likely at a red count here. I have this on the chart on the side. So extension here, 161.8, where am I? Here. You know, prefer target for wave 3, the everything 61.8, but doesn't mean that have to be. Here we tag the 200, so it could be. Now if I look at the sub count, it seems that we have a 1 2 1 2. In fact, if I take that here, 1 2, here we have the 161.8, and we go significantly deeper, but we have just a week, so that's the kind of thing you like. A week into the 161.8. A retrace, I guess, is pretty nice, 50% for wave 4 of this degree. Then a wave 5. In fact, we do make a lower low here on USD, but we didn't on USDT. So kind of giving more weight that we probably have a wave 5 here. So we still have, since 5 waves, a truncated 5 on USDT and a normal one here. Now it seems that we have an ABC finished. 1-1 extension, nice. We reach. It's a bit shallow retrace for that. We didn't tag the 236. So if we break that low here, without bouncing more, it might mean that we are still in, we just made this wave 3. You know, like if I put my fib lower here to that secondary high, now you see that we reach 236. So yeah, maybe we're going to extend this more. That would mean somehow we have 5 waves into this. Here we have our wave 4, I still have a 5. And then, yeah, that's why starting to have volume divergence, pretty heavy divergence over soul condition, significant absorption here, significant liquidation. So yeah, we might start to be building a range or test a preliminary support here. Because this buyback means that there was absorption in all of this, and this cluster become your quite important resistance now. I will do a Wyckoff chart, it will be more easy. But yeah, might be going into this wave 4 and have a nicer bounce now. And now we will be able to pull that fib from here and have a target. Yeah, okay. Well, when the fifth is finished, you see we'll have the 236 at the same level. Could be a target, but as we have absorption all the way up here, I will guess we have more ranging and we're entering the weekend. So yeah, maybe build a range here as a wave 4 of some degree. And continue for 5, for 5. As always, 5 doesn't need to do much lower than 3, right? We have 5 can be much deeper if we really are bearish and going, you know, for the low. Coming back on this in a minute. But it doesn't have, you can make just a swing color pattern. Here you got your buy. You're on validation if you see this absorption here and buy back. And you know you have to take profit at the high, especially if you again do the same thing on the other side, swing for a pattern, but with potentially target up here. Yeah, just this, look at new levels. You can look at the 4 level. Do we have any? Not really. Well, I guess you can take this. Kind of the same thing. Yeah. And we have this 5 minutes, 15 minute order block. Yeah, that's how I would play that if I had the time to. For me, just, yeah, I started to go long. When did I did? I think here, you know, little scalps took profit or increase here. And yeah, play that trench most likely. Knowing that I have bids deeper spread increasing as we might go deeper. In fact, if I look just at standard target, I should have on this higher time frame here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we had a good candidate for wave 3 here. Otherwise, it could come all the way down. Yeah, it could, yeah. Yeah, caution. I'd be not so aggressive on the long either. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe go light on the long. Because anyway, if we reverse, we're likely to have some kind of range, so we'll have time to see the range develop and maybe buy a bit later in the range. It's depending of your skill, right? There's always scalp to be taken. Otherwise, you know, max target if this is a wave 4 and we are going for the 5th. I have the 261.8 here, but we potentially have the 361.8 down here. So we could see further cascade and acceleration down. It's not impossible. I believe we have good support here. I believe we have good chances of finding nice bounce here. Ideally, for me, yeah, we stay around here. We do little wave 5 down, and we finish this 5 like when we take liquidity below this. We have a POC. Maybe check on Binance where is the POC as well, but yeah, we have our weekly order block. I will be happy to see this as a local low here. Golden pocket, so around 20,500 with room here if we really have big week, down to 19,800 with a 707 angel number. But ideally, yeah, I would want this to not go much lower and have a nice bounce here for this to be bullish and have potentially after next leg down that breaks that low, but still keeps these lows intact. Could be challenged, might be coming to the weekly level. That's it, and that's where we have a naked POC, I believe. I would prefer to how much was 19,400, I think. Yeah, I guess depend of the tick size. Oh, is that high? Where is it on Binance? Okay, 19,700, that's the one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Potentially, you know, we have big bounce that retest POC here. Now we have a naked POC here. And, oh, come on. What am I doing? Okay. Let's just project this as 90. Take that high, take a low here at the 0.618 on linear. PC 290% extension here. I think I lost the connection for a minute, sorry. But I'm live, right? Yes, I am. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, ideally I want to see this slow down and getting absorbed and bounce at the golden pocket of this whole mover. If you really come more down, well, I would see. You know that 19,707 is interesting. But I would prefer this to come after a very big bounce, bull trap, come back down, test this, and then you have your APC move nice. That's what I would prefer to see. What will make you think that the low at 17,600 is going to be taken? Well, at that point, if it get taken, I mean, if we don't see a nice bounce around here, right? If this continue down, I mean, doesn't mean we cannot have a nice bounce, but that will project us lower likely. So we need to see this range kind of be defended. It doesn't have to be that strong. It can do still a bit of lower low, but we don't want to see another flush like this. That's it. For now, I don't know. Yeah, that's here it is. 19,400 on Coinbase. Okay, naked POC here it's 19,700, but if we take all the range, it's a bit lower. If we take all of this, 19,400. So that's aligned more with the weekly. Naked weekly level, yeah, more closer. Okay, so we're going to an end of this stream. When Bena swings, that bull div on 1 hour might be coming in our wish unless it's just a retracement within the range. 1 hour RSI is well positioned for a div if it does print a low. Yeah, indeed, that's what you want to look at. Now, I want to emphasize, you need to be mindful that when you are in a strong trend here on the 1 hour time frame, the trend down is pretty decently strong. We have break of market structure, we have increase of volume, right, nice increase of volume, spike of volume at the low. That's say probably going to have at some point we need a nice bounce and nice lower low with less volume. So yeah, it will bull div. But when you are in a strong trend, sometimes you have bull div very early into the reversal, prior to the reversal. For example, like here when we had for our oversold condition, we have bull div here, so it still provides you a nice bounce. But when your bull div is confirmed, you're already halfway to your bounce. So yeah, here you still have bull div, you have bull div. Here you invalidate your bull div, you don't have bull div at the low. It's not the standard price action we have here, but that's just liquidation, you know. A Bitfinex, Celsius position at Bitfinex being liquidated at Tether. So things have been broken here, but you know, when you start to see 1 hour bull div, it's a good sign. Now, yeah, we may have here, but it can continue down. It doesn't mean we cannot make a low. So take profit on your scalp. That's on your trade. That's all I would like to say. You can see this all the way. If we are going in a downtrend, a nice 1 hour bull div started here. You consolidate, but you continue to break down. 4 hour is a bit less misleading, especially on a div. You got less fake div. Here you have at least a bigger range. You have to foresee this early, so nice eyes for this. You have to project how the div might come. And look, for example, here you read your 5 waves down and you say, okay, I know there is a 4 hour div coming. I can read 5 waves down, I'm starting to look for long. And when the bull div start to be visible, you're already taking profit. You don't wait for it to be visible, or otherwise you're already 50% or more from the low. Ça fait plaisir. Thank you so much appreciated. Thank you all. Thank you for taking the time. Have a good evening and weekend. Good evening to you, Ada. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this here. Once more, don't forget, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. So risk management is very important. Be mindful, be stress-free. Things not gonna reverse, likely not gonna reverse in a night and go full bull, so you got time. As said in the thumbnail, it's like to take a breath. Maybe if you're not in a short, if you're in a short, don't forget to take at least partial profit. But otherwise, you know, you can chill a bit. if you really want, you know, there's long opportunities, there is runs that will be built along the way, so you can try to catch them. Otherwise, at least take a few days off the chat. It's always helpful for a clear mindset. So thanks again, everybody. I appreciate all your nice words. I appreciate you all, and I wish you a nice evening, nice weekend, and see you soon, everybody.